Hi, welcome to the IHC Craft Room. I'm Mary. In today's video, I'm excited to show you how I dot painted this cross for Easter. I'll show you all the steps and all the materials. This is a project that is excellent for somebody who's new to dot painting and wants to get into the whole idea of this new world of artistry. I'll show you everything that you're going to need, and you can pick it all up at your local dollar store. So grab all your stuff and let's get crafty. This is Mary. Welcome to the IHC Craft Room. For materials, we'll begin with a 9x6.5 standing wooden cross that I got from the Dollar Tree. Some chalk paint in black, acrylic paint in white, bright yellow, Tutti Frutti, Christmas red, tropical blue, peacock blue, and Christmas green. Liquitex matte varnish, and some red rhinestone stickers. For tools, we'll begin with my dotting tools, of course, a paint palette, paint brushes, a wet rag, a cup of water, Gorilla super glue, some Q-tips, some toothpicks, and a sanding block and emery board. All right, let's get this party started by sanding down this cross. Anytime I work with a wood object like this, I make sure to invest the time up front to sand and smooth out the wood. First, because it really does make a difference to have a good work surface to dot on. And probably more important than that, this girl is accident prone, so toodaloo to you, splinters. Ain't nobody want you here. With that done, I gave the cross a quick wipe down with my wet rag, and after letting it dry for a few minutes, I painted on a base coat of black chalk paint. I actually did 2 thin coats of paint on the front and back, but with chalk paint, 1 coat would have been sufficient if you're not extra. But I am, so 2 it was. Next, we'll add 2 thin coats of varnish to protect the base paint in case I make a mistake and need to repair the damage with my friends, the Q-tips. And for the last step before we start dotting, let's draw in a chalk outline of that brilliant red rhinestone so that we don't accidentally dot too far into the center of the cross. Awesome! Now let's grab some paint and transform this cross with some color. My plan for this cross is to create a rainbow of colorful dotted lines all over the entire surface of the cross by using the walk the dots technique. I'm going to begin from the rhinestones and make my way outward, starting with larger dots that progressively get smaller. That's the plan. Later, we'll reverse the direction of our dots to fill in some gaps. For now, though, let's focus on getting into a walk the dots groove. But first, let's talk about it. The walk the dots technique is one of my favorites, so let me show you how it works. I start by loading my stylus with paint, and then I dot, dot, dot without reloading until the paint runs out. As the paint diminishes, each dot naturally gets a little bit smaller, creating a smooth transition from larger to smaller dots. The secret to making this technique work is not adding any more paint to your stylus after the first dip. That's what creates the beautiful gradual effect. Pretty simple, right? Now let's go ahead and practice the walk the dots technique by filling up each side of the cross with vibrant dotted lines. While we do that, let's talk about a few things worth making note of. I'm keeping my distance from previous lines to avoid touching dots and creating a blob while the paint is still wet. And by leaving a little bit of room between each line, it gives us that added contrast of the bold black background peeking around each of the colorful dotted lines. It really makes the colors pop. Another thing is, I'm only dotting a few lines of each color before cleaning off my stylus and swapping it out for another color. I go back and forth between all the colors a few times. I'm doing that to help me really mix all the colors evenly throughout the cross rather than accidentally being a little heavy-handed on one color over another. You'll also notice that I've chosen to use a mix of every size stylus I have. You can totally pick a size and stick with it if you like. That will look beautiful too. But I'm shooting for this cross to have a nice mix of colors and sizes, so I swapped mine around quite a lot. Another thing to make note of is how, well, not so straight a lot of my lines are. Some are super crooked. And I'll wait while you come up with a reason why that matters. Anything? Yeah, me neither. So who cares if your lines aren't straight? Who cares if you accidentally dot over a finished line? Like seriously, look how stunning this is turning out. Ain't nobody gonna care about that. Okay. Now that we have the majority of the cross covered, I'm going to flip the direction that I'm dotting in and start with my largest dot leading to my smallest dot being closer to the rhinestone center this time. I'll continue around the entire cross section by section and add in a few lines here and there. Wherever I see a noticeable gap, I'll add in another line of walking the dots, making sure to avoid putting the same color side by side. And once my little heart feels like I have the perfect amount of lines and dots, then it'll be time to stop and let the paint dry really well. I'd like to add a walk the dots trim around the base of the cross just to tie that solid black base in with the now supremely vibrant cross we just finished. Perfect! That looks fab! Before we move on to adding the final touch, I'd recommend you let this dry for at least 24 hours and then apply 2 thin coats of varnish to seal the paint. But don't forget to erase that chalk line we drew in the center before you varnish it, or it'll be there forevermore. So make sure you erase it first. Since I didn't varnish my cross because I don't want the glare for this video, I'm going to go ahead and erase my chalk line now. And then I'm going to put a small drop of Gorilla Crazy Glue right smack dab in the middle and shimmy and wiggle that beautiful rhinestone into center stage. Wow, just look at that riot of colors. This beautiful cross is just so vibrant and eye-catching, isn't it?
So what do you think? It was simple to do in the end, wasn't it? Really straightforward and easy, and an excellent way to practice walking the dots. This is a technique that I use in almost every one of my dot painting type of projects, and it's really simple, but definitely something that you need to master over time. And practicing it can be a little bit boring, so doing a project like this is an excellent way to practice it while still having a beautiful final result and enjoying yourself in the process. Plus, look at this beautiful rainbow and burst of colors. I just love it. I'm so thrilled with how it turned out, and I'd love to hear what you think about it in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about dot painting, check out one of these videos. And don't forget to subscribe so that we can continue to get crafty together. Toodaloo!